Well, as soon as he drove to the extreme right hand, his right hand, of the space available, I realized that a lot of things are not exactly the way it should be. I paid attention. I even remember part of the numbers on his how do you say that, on his license for the car. When I really looked at him, he actually started smiling, big smile, and I could see in his eyes he was thinking, this Jew's going to die. That's when I started understanding that I've got no more than 4 seconds to make a decision. I had a gun in my holster. I could have taken it out. I might have even hit him or his car, but I ended up underneath the wheels. Ramati hamburger, millimeters, 100 meters of just, Ramati's blood and guts on the pavement. So I said, look, to myself, the other option, and this is all but in seconds, the other option is to jump over the protective fence that was around the carom and get out of his way, which I did. So I started to jump, and that's why most of my injuries are from my right shoulder down. I jumped, my head got out of the way of the car, but he still got me basically from my shoulder all the way down to my ankles. And the fact that I was in the air meant that essentially I was not in a situation where I was a physical force against the car. Therefore, the car, with a superior physical force, simply threw me another 10 meters into the carom. So once I hit the ground, I said, am I alive? Seemed to be. I don't know if anything's broken yet, but I better get back up there on the road because I got to tell people what's going on. So I crawled actually on all fours, back up as far as I could get close to the road. And when I got to the fence and when I got to the bumpers that they have around the road, as I managed to pull myself up to my feet, managed to scramble over it, and thank God there was a car that was coming. I must have looked a sight because I was covered with blood. And he stopped, him and his wife, and I explained to them the situation. And immediately, without hesitation, he called the police, the army, the local medics, and after he did that, he says, is there anything else I can do for you? And I said, well, I'll tell you the truth. You got a roll of toilet paper anywhere? He said, well, what do you mean? I says, I got to stop the bleeding. So I took a roll of toilet paper they gave me and I crammed it into the wound. The ambulance came, and the medics took me to Sharet Zedek, where I got fantastic treatment. And ultimately, the only thing that happened to me is I have three, let's see, what's it called in English? 3 vertebrae that are shattered towards the bottom of the vertebrae, and 3 ribs that are no longer functional, which I have to find out what's going to happen. I don't seem to have any neurological damage from the head wound, but my body feels like somebody's been using it for a punching bag.
A lot of people watching us now from all over the world, but they don't know the real story about you. The story, you service in the Marines.
That's right.
Can you tell us more about that and when the connection start between you and Israel?
Well, I can tell you, and there's 2 connections here. The Israeli connection we covered. That's soldier to soldier. So one of the best units of soldiers and Marines in the world, and the best units in Israel, going out and having a great time together. That's the first connection. The other is the Jewish connection. I had a Brit when I was born, which was very unusual at that time because I have a lot of Jews in the family. But I was raised more or less an agnostic, or, with my choice. So the Israeli connection started making me think about the Jewish connection. So I decided that I'd have to check it out. I went to learn, and there was a question of how Jewish was I, and on which side. So Rabbi Moshe Feinstein made a psak, and he says, start fresh. You're a convert. Start fresh. That way at least you will know that you're kosher by every possible way of looking at it. And so I did that. My wife and I came to Israel then within 2 months. of finishing all the learning. And then we started something entirely different, building a nation that had been in ruins for 2,000 years. And also I continued with the army in Israel, but the Jewish side, building the Jewish home, and then there's the Israeli side, defending Jews. So that pretty much sums up, my reasons for coming and what I thought. Now we have 4 generations here. My 5 daughters and my son. Son serves in the Israeli army. My grandchildren, that's another 30. The ones that hit 18 serve. And my great-grandchildren, they're a little bit small to serve right now, but eventually they'll grow.
Tell us more about the story about you and Vietnam.
We went to Vietnam, like most 18-year-olds at the time, thinking that we were serving our country and that the Vietnamese had attacked our gunboats, which was a lie, which we didn't know at the time. But 18-year-olds are never told the truth. They're sent to die. We didn't hear about that for 50 years. So in Vietnam, basically, it was a dirty, dirty war, no contact with home. It wasn't like you could call home and say, "Hi, Mom, how you doing?" It was basically 13 to 18 months of no contact with human beings other than your fellow Marines.
No WhatsApp.
No WhatsApp, no nothing. And when we came back, having been totally out of contact, all of a sudden people were spitting on us. And we said, "Well, why are you spitting on us? What did we do?" They said, "You're baby killers, you're slime." So it was kind of a shock when we came back. Certainly didn't make staying in America any more attractive. In comparison to in Israel, if you serve in the Israeli army, you're a hero. It doesn't matter what you do, what rank you have, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're protecting the Jewish people so the Jewish people can build a state of Israel. An entirely different concept. And I really fell in love with that concept. And I volunteered right away to join the Israeli army. And I've served 25 years. I came out as a captain of the infantry. And I consider it a very great honor. And actually, I don't have enough money to pay the Israeli and the Jewish people back for the wonderful experience.
Dvid Ramti, I wish you full of healthy and God bless you.
And God bless you too. And Kol Am Yisrael.